Hey everyone, so this is day 8 and today we are going to see about the deployment of 3 tier using Docker. So what we are going to do is that I am already having one application which is having one front end and then the back end, and DB I'm using as the Postgres. So these three different components I have for this application. So it's basically a normal expense tracker application which is having one UI of login and register. So this is the application. Basically I will just show you how it works. So I will just log in. So here you can see one dashboard and you can add any amount and its expense or what you can just give it. Okay, and just do a save transaction. So you will see expenses here, balance is this much, all these things. So this is the basic application. So architecture wise if we speak, so here I'm basically using Nginx. So Nginx basically acts as the reverse proxy. So how the architecture will be, I will show you. So very first thing it will be, here will be the Nginx, which will basically serve your front end, and also it will route to your slash API request to your backend servers. Okay, and then backend will communicate to the database. So here I am the user. So user will do the request to this, will be on the port 80, and after that this backend will be on the port 8080, and DB is running on the 5433. Okay, no, 5432 it will be. Okay, so this is the basic architecture. So let's see how we can do it. And already git, I have everything kept into the GitHub. I will just show you the link. Okay, and then we can just start writing the Docker files, and you need to build the image, then Docker network you need to create, all these things I will just let you know. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so now what we will do, we'll first pull the basically GitHub code. Okay, so we'll basically clone the whatever code we have. So you can just write same as it is, https then github.com, then my username, and after that you have to give this one DevOps projects dot get. Okay, so it will clone the full repo. So that repo is having 4 projects, so we have to basically look for the fourth one. Okay, so you can just go into this particular directory, and here you will see 04. Okay, and here expense tracker you will see. So if I talk about the directory structure, so this is one db.sql file which I'm using for, this is for the db setup, and then we are having this backend and the front end. Okay, so let's, the very first thing whenever you are deploying any 3 tier architecture, so in that case what you need to keep in mind is that you need to first of all set up the db first. Okay, so here also we'll do the same thing. We'll set up the db first. Okay, let me just go into that screen. Okay, so but before that we need to create a docker network, so that we will create using the docker network create, and you can give the network name as et, that is expense tracker. So just to check, you can just do the docker network ls. So you will see et is here. Okay, so one more thing you need to remember from previous videos, like if you have your containers running in the same docker network, so you can communicate through it using their just container names. Okay, so now first thing is done. Next we have to just run the Postgres. Okay, so we'll just do docker run hyphen dit hyphen name, and we can just give the name as etdbcont, and after that you have to give the port mapping of 5432 colon 5432. Then you have to just give the hyphen network, and you have to pass the network name, that is the et, and after that you have to basically give the one variable that Postgres, like it is required to run a Postgres image. So that is basically Postgres underscore password, and that value you can just give it as the Postgres. Okay, and then give the image name Postgres colon latest. So it will pull the image, latest one, and then it will basically run that particular container. Okay, so once that container starts, so you can just do the docker ps. So you'll see container is ready. So now what you have to do is that you have to basically copy this db.sql file into that container and create all those tables and all. Okay, so for that, just use this command docker cp and the file name, that is the db.sql. And after that, you have to basically use the container id, and after that colon and then slash. So at this path your file will be copied. Now we'll just log in into the container, and here you have to just connect to the db using PSQL hyphen username postgres. Okay, and here you have to just do slash l. If you do so, you will see list of schemas currently, but I have to now execute that file db.sql. It is having the schema and db details, everything. Okay, so now it is created. Now if I just do slash I, sorry, not slash I, slash L. So okay, that is a db actually. So to see the schema, we have something command. I'm not able to recall now. Let me just see. Postgres, see all schemas. So what is the command? Okay, that's the dn actually. So let's do backward slash dn. So you'll see expense tracker is also there. So you need to just, if you have to select that schema, so you can just do set search path to. So search underscore path, it will be expense underscore tracker and semicolon. Now if you do backward slash dt, it will show you all those tables. Okay, so these are the tables basically are there. Okay, so now at this moment your db is ready. Okay, now it's time to set up your backend. So for the backend, uh, one file you need to make sure that is correct. That is the, I'm using one application property file. That is basically, it's a spring boot application, so there will be application property or yaml file. Okay, so in that you basically define your jdbc url. So here you will see I have defined as the etdbcont, same as the container name, because my this one can communicate with the, okay, so our db can communicate to the uh, backend, and backend can communicate to the database. Okay, so now what we have to do is that here already I have the docker file. So this is spring boot application. So same in our previous videos we have seen how you can get the multi-stage build. It's same, almost everything is same, just this I have changed, that is the target and the jar name. Okay, so now let's build this image. So you need to just build this image with, you know, you can just build etbe, you can do expense tracker backend. So it will take some time. So once that image is built, we are basically going to run it. Okay, by that time I'll just let you know some of the things like about Nginx. So here Nginx is basically, it acts as the reverse proxy and it sits in front of the backend server, and it will be acting like a routing manager, you can say. Like whatever request is coming to it, if it's matching with slash api or something, it will go to the backend, and if it's matching to just slash, it will just serve that index.html file. Okay, so we are using the react. So in that case what happens, whenever you do npm run build, so just like in java you get the jar file, in front end you get one dist directory. Okay, in that you will be having index.html and assets one directory. Okay, so this directory we will basically keep into the folder where nginx, like from where nginx serves. Okay, so it's mostly it's war www html. Okay, so there we basically keep all this file, and the image which we are using from the front end, that is the nginx image. Okay, so yeah, let's see if image is built now or not. Okay, so this image is ready, that is the backend image. You can just do the docker images. So yeah, it's ready. Now you can just run this image, hyphen dit hyphen name. You can just give the name as the becont, and etb count we need to give as this name. I'm using in my code. Okay, hyphen dit hyphen name etb cont. After that, you need to give the network, that is we have et, then port mapping, that is the 8080 to 8080. That is not required also, as if you want to use outside you can use, otherwise it's not required. After that, what you need to give, you need to just give the image name. Okay, so yeah, let's run it. So if I just do docker ps and I try to check the logs, so docker logs, so okay, I can just do logs hyphen f. So you can see it's starting. So you can see here Tomcat started on port 80. Okay, cool. So now your backend is ready, your front end is ready. Okay. So now what you have to do is that you have to make your this application up, that is the front end application. So expense tracker front end, you go back here, and here also I have created one Docker file. So this is basically as I told you, I'm using the Nginx image, that is you just say Nginx HTML is the one directory uh, where we are like keeping our index.html files and all. Okay, and this one is the dist, that folder which I was talking about to you. Here it is dist. Okay, and this you will see index.html and assets. So to compile this code, if you don't want to compile, you can use the same, but if you want to compile, you can just run this command npm run build. Okay, but before that, obviously you should have the you need to do this npm install to install all the dependencies and everything. Okay, so currently I don't have npm, so that's why it's failed, but this is basically a different environment where I'm showing you. Okay, so let's build this image now. Docker build hyphen t, and what you have to give the image name, you can give anything, etfe, and just do the dot. Okay, and also one more thing, here we have one default, that is one configuration file basically Nginx uses. So here you need to take care of this location. If it is slash, then it will basically serve your normal index.html code, like whatever you have in the front end. And then you will see here slash api slash, whatever request is there with starts with slash api, it will all go to the beacon, that is your backend service. Okay, so this is one thing you need to keep in mind. And also in front end code, you will see one src. In src you will be having api.js. There we're defining the base url to keep it as slash api. Okay, so just to forward your request to the backend. Okay, so image is now front end image is also now ready, so we can just run that particular container as well. So let me just go here. Where is the so I will be just using the etfe, and instead of 8080, so that is, it will be simply 80, and here also 80, and then here you need to just give the fe cont, and yeah, we are good to go now. If I just do docker ps and if I just show you the logs, so there you will see basically the logs of the nginx, the request which is coming to it. Okay, okay, so all the processes are now up. Our front end is ready, our back end is ready, our db is ready. Okay, and all are into the same docker network. So now just to request on that, what we can do is that let me just in security you need to allow that port. So this is a ec2 instance, so if you are using ec2, then you need to do that. Otherwise, if you are in some vm or something, you can just directly go and hit okay on port 80, like localhost 80. Okay, so now let me just go here, and where is the ip in details, copy this public ip, go here, and yeah, just hit enter. So you should see the front end code. Okay, so this ui came right, and this is all hard coded values already. If you want to change, you can just change it. Now just do switch to register, click on register. So yeah, here you are logged in now. And if you want to create some categories, so you need just to create default categories. So it will create here some food, rent, salary. You can just add an income, anything number, suppose 1 lakh, 10 lakh, whatever you want to give. Okay, save. And if you want to have a food expense and all, just do expense. And if I want to just keep 1,000 and save it, so you can see an expense also it's coming up. Okay, so basically this is the one basic application of 3 tier. Okay, so and if you have to check the logs, and also you can just see here all the requests whatever is coming to your what we can say, to the Nginx, and Nginx is basically forwarding that request to the backend. So basically here the main learning which you should have is that the how request is basically flowing. I will just let you know again how things are happening, so that if you do or add this project anywhere, so that you should be able to like tell. So here basically we are having this Nginx container that is basically accepting all the requests, and Nginx container is acts as a reverse proxy which basically forwards the request to the respective things. Okay, so already front end is hosted in this only, no need. And then we have here the backend. So whatever request is coming at to the slash API, it's basically forwarding to this particular backend. Backend is communicating to the DB. Okay, so this is all for this video. And if you have liked it and if you have learned something, then you can just share it with others as well. And yeah guys, thank you so much for watching. And I think it's day 8 of this Docker series. In the next one, maybe I will be covering about some interview questions which you basically get on the Docker. Okay, so yeah, that's it for this video, and I will see you in the next one guys. Thank you so much for watching.